Are we starting?
Yeah.
This is it.
That was so good.
Welcome to Shitty Rigs.
That was a clean one.
Drinks. All right, Bert.
All right,
Bert.
This ASMR artist over here. This is Jamie Rice. Jamie Rice is a New York City-based filmmaker and touring photographer. She's also on the creative team and does all the visuals for the band Daisy Grenade. We're going to talk to Jamie about living on tour and working on location and just everything she's done in the film industry.
Woohoo!
Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in.
Cheers. That's the roar of the crowd.
Cheers. Woohoo! Do we clink?
I can.
I mean,
but
honestly, it won't be nearly
Okay,
as good
I
as the
can't
opening.
reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going?
So good. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a fan.
Let's start early on. How did you get into the film world? Is this like why is this your job?
Okay. It started at 8 years old. No, I'm kidding.
You're not kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I was really thinking yesterday about, you guys like sent me all the questions and I was like, okay, how did it really begin? I was like making music videos with my brother on like in photo booth, like using like a MacBook camera and like bringing it outside, like taking it places.
Nice.
And like using that as my camera and then like editing an iMovie, that kind of thing. But I went to film school at Florida State, go Noles, and it was a really, really intensive program that was like strictly production based, basically. We obviously learned how to write and just like all the film stuff, but it really was just like learning all the roles on set. And I thought that I wanted to be an AD.
And why did you not want to be an AD?
I didn't want to be an AD because I PA'd and it was, I saw how miserable all of the ADs were.
Shots fired.
Like, oh God. No, I love ADs so much. I respect the job so deeply. And I still love that side of things. Like I love scheduling and I love going in and like creating the day. But I thought that I wanted to do that. So I was an intern on Broad City at first, and then people quit or got fired, and then they were like, we need a first team PA. And so I like went that route where I was a first team PA on a couple of like Jack's Media shows in New York. So I did like Broad City, Difficult People, Search Party. When I was on Search Party, a first team PA got fired, I think, for like not showing up one day. And they were like, I was the paperwork PA and the first team PA didn't show up. And they were like, you have first team PA experience, so do both.
Not move over. You get
move
more,
over.
Yeah.
Do both today.
Pay
so
more?
I'm like, yeah, no.
Pay more. Just
Never.
more work.
Never.
Just more work.
Of course not. And I was like, okay, this is the hardest thing I've ever done because I was doing two PA. They never like replaced the first team PAs because I was just able to do both.
Right.
And that was like such a hard thing. But then once I started PAing after that, I was like, I'm bored because I had been doing so much. I switched over to locations on the TV show Younger. I was like a location scout, a location assistant for a little bit. Ended up being more in production offices than set. Really liked being in prep a lot as well as being on set, but I liked being a part of something from the beginning. Because there's like a huge difference when you are like just a set PA and you show up the first day and you're like trying to do your job, but you also have not read the scripts probably, and you're just like going based off of the sides.
No idea where anything
yeah,
is.
you have no idea. And so being a part of the earlier process was really helpful. And you get to know everyone who's like on the ATL. And I feel like every time I moved up, it was because someone else didn't want the job that they were hired to do. And so we like switched. And so I was supposed to work in the production office on a Nicole Holofcener movie. And her assistant at the time wanted to work in the office. And so we switched. And so that was how I got my first director's assistant job. And it was for Nicole Holofcener, which was a dream. I'm such a fan of all of her movies. And then I somehow just I would say all of 2017 and 18, and a lot of 19, I was like every female director's assistant. It just I kept getting hired to work with amazing female directors. Like
your name was definitely in like some text message chain.
It's kind of crazy. Like I worked for Miranda Bailey, Liz Garbus, Sarah Colangelo, and Nicole again. And it was just like movie to movie to movie. And then I ended up being like a writer's assistant to a comedian like full time who was trying to write movies for 4 years because the pandemic hit while I was working for him, and I just kept working for him, and it was a full-time thing. So that's kind of like the whole film trajectory. And the whole time I'm like making my own stuff and writing with my writing and directing partner Nicole. I'm like blabbing.
It's good because I
blabbing on a podcast.
That's kind of
unheard of,
right?
How did you find time? Because I mean, like especially being a PA, it'll like you're there before a lot of people, you're there after a lot of people.
I'm driving people to set too a lot of the times. When I'm a director's assistant, it's like, here's your minivan, go pick up the director, the DP, the AD, the producer before set and drive everyone to set. And then drop everyone off, and then go home and sleep for 4 hours and do it again.
So were weekends like your time to shine, or were you always catching up on sleep?
I was trying to catch up on sleep, but I mean, I was younger too. Like I'm 31 now. I was 20. I mean, it was right out of college. So like all those like assistant and PA years were like 22, 20, 21 to 25. Mm-hmm. So I hadn't.
I mean, to get that high up that early on that's pretty.
I worked hard. Yeah. I worked really, really hard to like get that high up, and I mean, the imposter syndrome was real. I was scared constantly.
Are you still?
Yeah, all the time. No,
What do you mean? Funny. Just because you're working with these people and you're like. They're held on such a high level, and you're like, why? How am I working with them? Or
it's like that, but. It's also when you start, like, I bopped around from job to job, and I was doing a lot of different kinds of jobs. And it's like a video game. It's like every little, like, skill you pick up, like, helps you later down the line. But, so, like, when I was a director's assistant, because I had worked in locations, because I had, like, been a first team PA, like I had all of this like additional knowledge, and I went to film school, and like I was a grip, I was a gaffer, like I'm also a DP, so I'm like good at knowing when to like back off and stuff. But it took a really long time to actually like, I don't know, implement all of those skills in a way that didn't scare me. Because it was scary to be around like all of those people, but I think it's this fear of like, there's a lot of, I was like the keeper of the final draft file on a lot of these movies, where like I was doing a lot of the revisions like process, where like I would be literally in the final draft file, like locking the pages or changing the revisions, and then like distroing it out to the production office so they could like go wide. And I made so many mistakes early on where like I would forget to change like the gender of like a small cast member, and then they would show up on set and their sides would be like, it would be a guy and the sides would be like, she walks over here, and I'm like, oh my god, that's my fault, because like he like now he sees that he wasn't actually like cast the way that it was intended. And
did that cause any problems, or like was there ever a thing?
Well, it was a thing where like someone it would be a problem for 5 minutes where like someone would get mad at you, and then you would move on
until the new problem came up.
How do
they know that came back on you? Like that could have been
because I'm the keeper of the final draft.
Right, but it's like the actor doesn't know that, you know. It's like
of course not, but the producers who were going to hire me again
as a producer,
know that.
I'm sorry, like how old are you right here? You're like 24.
Like 23. But it's a lot, but that's why I'm scared. That's why I'm scared. It's like it feels like so much pressure.
Yeah.
Where like if you forget to tell a prop master that the director decided like, oh, I actually don't want it to be lasagna in the fridge, I want it to be chicken piccata, and you forget to tell the prop master because like she might have told you, and it's like, go tell the prop master that that's actually what I want, or she changes it in the script without telling anyone, and I'm the one that has to catch it.
Right.
And before it like goes wide, and we're shooting it tomorrow, that kind of thing.
Did you have any big lasagna moments like that where you like had like a really big mess up?
I mean, the gender one was like a huge one, weirdly, that day, because I think that he was the guy who got it. He like kind of won the role, and so that's why we had to like change it. And so it was like a special guy who was like coming to set, and then he read the sides and he was like, "Why is this for a woman?" And so I felt bad. But yeah, I mean, there are like tons of, not tons, I'm good at my job, but like there were like instances of missed props happening for sure.
Yeah.
Do I remember specifically what they were? No, I probably
Nobody does.
Try
That's
not
the,
to.
Yeah. But that's
try not to remember. I'm probably so scarred.
Well, I think like when you're young, that's the big thing. Is like you take every one of these challenges, you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, my career's over.
Yeah.
And then you get older, you're like, none of this shit fucking matters.
I know.
Like,
I
Because you probably realize working with some of these people too, it's like they're a huge name director or something that you hold
Right.
in high regard, and then you realize like, well, they've never done locations, they have no idea what's going on behind it. And it's like you can be half their age and realize that you actually know more about some of the stuff happening than they do.
I was driving to set with one of the directors that I worked for, and they were like, what does the second AC do? And I was like,
You're like, cool.
how are you in charge?
Get out of my van.
well, it's because they never did it. Like it's like
Totally.
two different paths, right? That you take.
Yeah.
Like you can go that path, or you can go this below the line production path, and then there's this weird path in between where it's like the production team, because they feel like they're on that side, but they're not really.
Yeah.
Because they interact with the talent or the director or the high end people all the time. But and it's actually kind of mind boggling when you look at, like, I've worked with some big directors and big writers, and when you're with them and you're explaining like a process, like a technical process to them, they're like just fucking zombies. Like
Their eyes glaze over.
Right.
and you're just like, oh, this seems real easy to me, and everyone else is understanding it. But like, I can,
Well, that, like, it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like there are so many times where I start a new job or I go somewhere and everyone's like, wow, it's so amazing that you like know how to do that. And you forget how much you know as a crew member, honestly, like that you have all of this knowledge that, I'm starting this producer's assistant job as like a day job before I go back out on tour. And I am so nervous, weirdly, even though I've like done it, but I haven't worked on set in 6 years because I was, this is like the first movie I've worked on in 6 years. And so I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm like, I forgot how to do everything. And then I go into the office yesterday and I'm like, oh, this is a breeze.
Nothing has changed.
I'm like,
Like a bicycle.
like, I know. Well, you forget that like some people don't know how to read a prep schedule. Some people don't know like what a cast wall is. Like the people that like I'm hired because I have this innate knowledge now that I've learned and picked up, but it feels like you don't know anything still, weirdly, because you haven't done it in a while.
Are you able to get a higher rate because you can prove that you know that stuff? Like, and that's like an actual question, because if you say no, they're just going to find the next person. So this is a unique situation in the movie that I'm on right now, because I'm just in prep and I'm kind of like filling in for another assistant who's working on a different movie for the production company. They're like shooting at the same time. So I'm not like, and it's my first time working with these guys, so I'm not trying to like ruffle any And you know
feathers,
you're leaving.
honestly. I know I'm leaving. I know I have a paycheck happening right afterwards, so it's fine. It's definitely like the low end of the rate. But when I was working full time as a director's assistant, and I remember the last movie that I worked on, I would get into arguments with the line producer, because I was like, why is a PA, why when I've like emailed back and forths with him that are pretty nasty, where like, I'm like, why is a PA who is a day player PA making more than me as a day player PA because he's working overtime, but I'm not getting overtime because it's a weekly rate somehow that you're not like factoring in overtime. It was insane. And he would be like, when I was a PA, I made $100 a day. And I was like,
no
when
one
I
asked
was a
you.
PA, I made $152 a day. Like,
Cool. When you were a PA, rent
Great.
was fucking $300.
Yeah.
right.
It's
I'm
not
like,
1972 anymore.
I'm like, come on, my guy. Like, I'm working 18 hours a day because you scheduled this poorly also. And why is that my fault? I'm busting my ass on this massive movie, honestly. And like doing way more than my job description.
Yeah.
Is required of me.
I mean, the PA rates like really have not gone up.
No, I learned that
Significantly.
this week.
Yeah. And truth be told, now that minimum wage has gone up, like the PA rate and minimum wage are essentially like kind of lining up now.
Yeah.
If you,
What's the PA rate right now?
well, think about it. Minimum wage in this state is $15
Yeah.
for 8 hours. PAs work 12 hours, 14 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
And you're doing like what, 225 to 250 is like kind of a bottom barrel. And some
Yeah.
people even try to get you lower than that.
Yeah. Especially with the
wild.
weekly stuff, they'll
Right.
like, oh,
I'm
we'll,
on a-
we'll pay
I'm
you
on a
for 4
weekly.
days, like,
I'm
or
on a
something.
weekly. Yeah. I'm
So
on,
that-
I mean, I can be
Like
transparent about it.
working
It's-
12 hours at like McDonald's is essentially the same as that. And the skill set that you need to like deal with the personalities.
Yeah.
And all
Oh,
the,
yeah.
all the technical skills that you're talking about, like, oh, we got to go through Final Draft, you got to like schedule things or know how
and
to.
a kit fee. They
Yes.
never want to give me a kit fee for using my computer.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm paying for Dropbox storage. I'm paying for Final Draft. Like, I'm paying sometimes for Adobe. Like, sometimes because I have also photography skills, like, sometimes I'm going and, like, taking storyboard pictures, like, with the director.
That's pretty
And-
crazy.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's
and
happened.
It's fine if like the rate, you're like, this is a rate that I'm happy to do
Yeah.
this for. But like, it's when they try to like get you at this
Yeah.
like bottom tier rate. And then they're like, you have to do all these
Yeah.
things on top.
yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, no, PA rates have like, I mean, generally all rates in
Yeah.
like the entire industry have not really reflected
Yeah.
what's happened. But PA rates specifically have been.
Yeah. And what sucks is that it's like, I know that line producer was like sitting at his computer reading my email going, this fucking bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Pocketing $3,000 that week or something.
right.
You know,
and
it's
like,
yeah.
and like, who does this girl think she is? You know what I mean? Where like, if it was a guy, he would react differently. He would. And
Right.
so it does suck that like, there's a level of professionalism that like I have to hold, but I also have to be like, no, it's okay sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird line that you have to toe.
Yeah.
Right.
it
You
is.
clench your fist and bite
He'll
your
fire me
tongue.
to hire his nephew.
but, I mean, to be fair, but this is also why there's like this whole underbelly of shit where PAs make money on the side
yeah.
because they don't get paid enough.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
You
Like,
keep
they'll
the
do
Welch's
fucking-
fruit snacks in your
they'll
backpack and sell them for $3
There's
each?
like scams where like they'll like use a truck for something else, or they'll like
Yeah.
they got a friend who works at a bodega and they'll like get receipts for things that like never got bought.
Totally.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Because
bro.
it
How
doesn't
do you
happen.
think they're gonna?
This
yeah.
isn't. He's making it up.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
good on them if they can figure out how
Absolutely.
to do that. Because like they're
I've
not
never
getting
done
paid
that. Line producers, I've never done that.
No, I get it.
Shitty rigs, I have.
Everyone tune out.
Put that out for the line. If you're a line producer, stop scrolling.
The entire industry is built on like people just marking up anything.
But that's what the people at the top are doing too. It's like the people at the top are
yeah.
they're just
they're
scamming you in a
taking
different
your
way.
receipt
And-
that you marked up, and they're going, well, now it's actually $100.
Right.
They're marking up their own fucking rate.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I love making movies.
This is the
It
fun part of it,
rocks.
right?
It rocks.
Did these skills help you start doing the other stuff, like when you're making your
other
own films or
stuff.
stuff like that? Like, I'm
yeah.
just I'm curious.
No, it
It's like
did, it
how, Yeah.
Transfer over.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it did, but it was this like, it was almost a tease a lot of the times where it's like I'm working on these huge union productions where like I'm not union, and then on the weekends I'm going and I'm like, okay, how can I make my projects look as good as possible and impressive while literally just having a point and shoot, you know? So it like, it's hard. It's a lot of, I mean, I will say, like, I look at shitty rigs all the time
I
to
know,
like,
it's like-
see what people are doing for like dolly shots. And it's the amount of times that like, I feel lucky that I know how to like roller skate, you know, like I can skate and I can hold a camera. but like people have dragged me on a skateboard. People have like pushed me in like a $40 cart that we like got from Amazon that we returned 3 days later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that where you see how they do it on set and then you're like, okay, how do I do this for $4? You know?
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to work on these large scale projects, and I know that you're in the office or you're in pre-pro, but like you do get to visit set and you do get to see these large scale things. So how do you take that knowledge back to, okay, I've got my Fujifilm, and I want to make something that looks like the show younger. Well, how are we doing this?
Right. I mean, well, for the record, it will never look like that. But when you're using a Fuji X100V with a fixed like 23 millimeter lens, but you learn that it's all about lighting and it's all about sound, and you can do so much with lighting and sound, just like looking good. But it's so much trial and error of like.
Wait. Are you telling me that the camera is less important than lighting?
Here's the thing, and I'm saying, and
are we about to do this right now?
No, I'm a camera person, and it scares me to even say that because it like there's so many times where I've like shot something where I'm like, why was I focused so much on like making that look good when like the mic wasn't plugged in, you know? So it's like really just having this like mental checklist of the basics. And I think that you learn so much on set when you're like on a production, like at such a high caliber of just like how people work together and how people problem solve together, and how much time things take to actually do. Like when I was a first team PA, it really opened my eyes up to like, oh, it takes a while for actors to like get ready.
Yeah.
And actually get them like in the headspace. And it's not all about like the image and making everything. It's arguably more about the actor's performance, and which is something that like I've had to grapple with a lot as I've directed more, where I'm like, I have to let go of what it looks like right now and like let someone else worry about that so I can actually focus on getting the right performance. And working as a director's assistant, I think that helped me a lot. Just like, I mean, being like standing over Nicole Holofcener's shoulder while she's like looking at her director's monitor, you know? And I'm like, one, how did I get here? Two, that's so cool to like see specifically what she does like right after they call cut, like how she will approach and talk to the actors. It's like it's a masterclass like right in front of you.
Will they take the time to talk to you about like what are they watching in that take? Like,
I try not to ask questions on set, just because she's in the fucking zone. But like I drive them a lot. Like if I'm driving the director to and from set, like we're talking about what's happening during that day. Like a lot of the times I'm the one that's printing out the shot list. When I am a director's assistant, I'll be like printing out the shot list and just triple confirming that like this is what the shot list is and this is what everything is. So I have like a good understanding through those like sidebar conversations. And like sometimes they'll be like, can you go grab the DP to, I have a question about like this specific thing, and like I'll just listen, you know.
That's one of the cool things about like our industry too, is that like as the more that you're working, the more you're building this network of people that you can reach out to when you don't know something. So even if you haven't done something, like, okay, I'm going to call this guy who I know who has done that, and they're just another version of that coach.
Totally.
Yeah. You're directing things now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like clearly your process probably was adapted from this experience that you had where you're like working with a wide variety of different directors. It's not like you just worked with one director. So.
Yeah, no. A lot of them keep binders, and I think that I've like adopted systems from like some of their like script binders that I maybe never would have done on my own. I like color coding stuff. I think I picked up a lot of just like following the like color coding like beats of. That's actually something that Cindy Shupak did, that she like had color coded sticky notes that were like following character beats throughout the script. And that was like really helpful for her because the sticky notes were like sticking out, and she could easily reference where a character's mindset was at any given moment, kind of,
cool.
which was cool. So like in terms of directing, that is definitely a skill I've picked up on.
What was on Younger? What you said you were locations, or
yeah, I worked in locations.
Did you get to be on set at all for that?
I actually got in a car crash first day of working in locations. They gave me a car. I was given a car because I was a location scout, and I was trying to pass a girl who was parallel parking on like one of the small like Greenpoint streets, and I swiped her, and she was like, I'm gonna call my dad, and he was like, and the dad was like, I was so scared that, and I didn't know how it worked if you got into a car accident in a production vehicle, and there wasn't any damage to my car, and so I was like, okay, I think it's fine, because she was like, it's fine, let's just like go, and she like didn't call the cops, like nothing happened, whatever, and then she calls her dad later, and I guess the dad was like, no, call the police, and she had like taken a picture of the license plate, and so like a day later the police called the production office and were like, we're looking for Jamie Rice.
Perfect.
And I was like, and it was absolutely horrifying, and that was a huge lesson in never lie, tell everything.
Did they think it was like a hit and run at that
they
point?
thought it was a hit and run.
No, that's insane.
I know, because the girl's dad was psychotic, and he was like, tell them it was a hit and run because you didn't get any information.
Wow.
And so like the license plate tracked back to the rental car company. The rental car company was like, that's out for this production. And then
and you didn't say anything to the producer?
I didn't say anything because it was my first day and I was freaking the fuck out, obviously. Never lied since.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Lying was like a big thing that I had to overcome whenever I would fuck up, because it's so scary.
I mean, I think it's always best when you're on a production. Like I know, like from camera and lighting and everything, it's like
Things break.
Yeah. People make mistakes. Just own up to it immediately.
Yeah.
And then it can get solved immediately. If you don't own up to it immediately and you kind of let it linger, it's just going to build
worse.
and get bigger.
Totally.
Well, and then you have
It'll always come out.
You have that reputation of, oh, that's the person that lied about that. I don't want to hire them next time. Like,
right. And guess what? Never worked in locations after Younger. Was scarred for life.
I feel like location scars most people.
I think you dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
No, the reason I was going to ask was because like I worked on the rigging side of Younger, but I got to interact with exactly, which we never knew. But I got to interact with like the camera team, and like one conversation that we had with the DP specifically when we were rigging something. Huh?
JT, John Thomas.
Yeah. But it's like this crazy way that they shoot specifically that show. There are some other shows but the whole thing is a commercial.
Yeah.
Like a close up in there shows the whole shirt. You know, it's like every outfit that they're wearing, they're showcasing this. Like they're in the locations probably are chosen for very specific reasons too. Like they're large lofts and they're trying to showcase like New York and all this crazy stuff. So I was going to ask if you got to experience anything towards that, because like now one of the things that you do with the band is that like you guys are creating this brand and this vision, and it's much larger than just two people singing. It's this huge thing. So like experience from these past shows. Yeah. Have you been able to put any of that into what you're doing?
100%. I mean, the fact that I worked in locations is like part of the reason why Hannah and I are good at finding locations for our music videos. It also got us into a little bit of trouble with the Hypocrite music video, actually, because I knew that you could just reserve a park through like New York City parks. Like if you reach out 30 days in advance, you can ask for a park, like a field or something. So we wanted to shoot this.
I was like a whole park?
No, like a part of a park, a fraction. No, you can like reserve a field, and we wanted to shoot like a soccer music video for Daisy Grenade's song Hypocrite, and it's like a 1.5-minute short song, so we were only going to like spend a day shooting it. I reached out with more than enough time in advance to the parks department, and I was like, we want to shoot on, it was a field in South Brooklyn, and we wanted to shoot there. I got it secured. I went scouting at the exact time the week before to like triple check that like it wasn't going to be crazy. Of course it was, because there were like soccer tryouts happening. And so I like send a picture to my contact at the Parks Department, and I was like, hi, and this is like directly because of how many times I fucked up like holding spaces, like trying to secure holding spaces for the TV show Younger.
People and stuff, yeah.
Like, where I would secure a location for a holding space for extras, and I would go there and I would be like, do you have this, this, this? And then they would be like, oh, actually, you said that we only had the space until 12. And I would get a call at midnight, sleeping, from the ALM being like, why are they kicking us out? What did you sign on the contract? Like those kinds of things. So like really, really like getting into like the nitty gritty specifics of like, is there enough like seating available? Is it air conditioned? Like those kinds of things. And so all of those things I take into account when I'm like shooting the music videos, where I'm like, okay, we need to make sure, almost to a fault where it's like, it's literally just like 7 of us and it's fine.
Yeah.
But with the Parks Department, I send a picture and I'm like, is this a weekly thing? Like, are all these kids going to be here playing soccer when we're trying to shoot this music video next week? And he was like, no, it's totally free. It's yours. And I have that email. We show up the morning to shoot a week later. We like start setting up. An entire school of children approach with these like PE teachers. And we're like, and the principal of the school. And we're like, hi. And we're like, we have this field reserved. And they were like, we have all of these fields reserved for a field day. And I was like, a field day? 300 children.
That's
like
wild.
Here for a field day.
That's a big thing to miss.
Yeah.
300.
So we're calling the Parks Department guy, and he's like, no, I do, like, we double booked you, we're so sorry. And I'm having to like, and because of my experience in location specifically, talking to other people, of being like,
that's like 90% of the job.
90% of like on-set locations job is like talking to other people to try to get them to stop doing things, to feel like, please turn that drill off. Like, please, can you move that car? Like, can we clear that art? Like, that kind of thing. And to be able to like talk them off the ledge and just be like, can we compromise in some way? Like, we have like, I was like, we have a lot of money like riding on this. Meanwhile, the budget was $6,000 literally. But it's like, we had a whole day planned to shoot this music video. And we compromise. They give us like half of this big soccer field, and we're like, okay, it's fine. We can do camera tricks to like make it seem like there aren't any kids running around constantly. Luckily, no sound was needed. It's a music video. Sometimes the soccer ball would like go into the shot, and we'd be like, let's just do it again because a kid just ran through. Then it gets later in the day, and these soccer tryouts do actually come and happen. And so it's not only field day is wrapping up, now it's like all these other children are coming for actual soccer tryouts. So it's like they need the soccer field and the goals. And so then I'm going and talking to these like scary Brooklyn men who are like not fucking having it with us, where we have a whole band set up in one of the goals, like literally a drum kit in the goal. Our guitarist and our bassist are in the goal. Like we're planning to like shoot this. Parents are setting up their chairs like behind the goal, and I'm just like, this is insane. And if you watch the Hypocrite music video, you would never know that there was a child anywhere near. But I'll send you guys the video of like what it looked like around us, and I had to compromise. By the time the tryouts were happening, it was like maybe like 6 or 7 p.m. and we had been there since like 8. And they were like, you can have the penalty box. And we were like, thank fucking God we got everything else. And all we were doing was like the band shots. And so like all the band shots in that music video,
really
it's like
tight.
Literally like we kept having to stop because like kids were doing laps around the field. So they would just like literally like run directly in front of the camera, like behind the goal. Like it was crazy. It was absolutely insane.
Did you call your parks department guy?
Yeah, and I was like,
hey, what's up? We just talked about this.
Well, there's no refund because it's free, you know, like you don't have to pay money to shoot in a park.
But you also say like, yeah, $6,000 isn't a lot riding on it, but like I'm also not about to just drop. I'm not pulling $6,000 out of my pocket and just going, yeah, okay, let's fucking throw this today.
We had
We'll
like
try again tomorrow.
Totally, and like we picked this location because it was like so deep in Brooklyn that we were like, it won't be super crowded unless like other people have booked
Unless
it.
it's a field day.
Unless it's a field day and soccer tryouts. And like we had all these like extras coming to be soccer players, and like we wanted to like make sure they had like a nice shady area, and it's just like everything. The camp just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and so to be able to have like such a good creative collaborative working relationship with Hannah, who is the creative director for Daisy Grenade, we met as PAs. We met as assistants on Jack's media shows. Where like I was driving the director, she was assisting on the detour randomly.
Nice.
But like she called me because she knew that I could shoot stuff, and that's how we started working together. But like because we have like a shorthand now, and we have such like a deep understanding of like how to make things and how to problem solve quickly together, we were able to do it on time, which is kind of crazy. Like we wrapped on time, like everyone ate food, like it was fine. We had poke bowls that day, actually. It was lovely.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I feel
highlight
like,
of the day.
I mean, on like a small
I'm like
budget
stressed
thing.
out of my fucking mind, and I'm like angrily sitting there eating a poke bowl. Picture it.
On a small budget thing, feeding your crew is just as important. On like, it's like that's the
most
least you can do.
thing,
Yeah,
arguably, honestly, apart from like getting the shot, I think that like a fed crew is a happy crew, hands down.
Absolutely.
You have to feed people. It's law in my brain. Yeah. And like working on sets, kind of like union sets, kind of like implemented that into me as well, and school too.
It just makes it overall nicer. Like,
yeah,
I know this guy gets a little hangry when
A little.
I literally started a new job this week, and day one in the office, my supervisor comes in and goes, "Make sure you eat lunch. One of your references told us you get a little grumbly if you don't eat." And I was like, who the fuck told you that?
Incredible.
He did not say that.
he got the job, right?
I know, I got the job, but my wife I told her, and she goes, "How the fuck does that even come up in a reference check?"
It's the first
That's
thing on Mike's
nasty
list.
work.
I was like, that's amazing.
I love
Okay. I was like, I know exactly who said that because Farina's the only one that would bring that up unprompted.
He's absolutely fabulous.
He's a great guy unless he doesn't eat, and then you're fucked.
Question was, is there anything about him that sometimes where he gets like angry or upset? Like, do you see him getting angry or upset? I'm like, with people? No, not unless they're dumb. And then I was like, well, he gets really hangry. And I would say if he doesn't eat, then he just is pissy to everybody.
Totally.
He was like, noted.
Yep.
That is so funny.
Wow.
God.
Hey, whatever.
You got the job, right?
Yeah.
You got the job.
Totally.
And now you get snacks because they know, like,
The first thing I did was put a box of Welch's in my desk.
I mean, I started this new job this week, and part of the reason why I'm so okay with the rate is because it's the first time in 2 years, other than when I'm on arena tours, where I get food for free. Where
It is huge.
it costs so much money
Yeah.
to feed yourself.
Oh my God.
I remember going to the doctor and them asking, like, so what's your diet schedule like?
No.
And I'm like, well, it depends if I'm working or not. And they're
Right.
like, why does that change your diet? It's like, well, when I'm on
Because some
set.
days when you're on set, you get fed steak and lobster.
Exactly.
And then when you're at home, it's like, okay, I guess I'll
Mac
Ate
and
chicken
cheese.
nuggets again
yeah,
this
I
morning.
guess I'll eat mac and dogs.
and then you're on the road like nonstop and you're like, I'm going to eat there because that's the only place.
Tour eating is a nightmare. It's like, I mean, we're going to gas stations and getting snacks.
Are you doing
constantly.
like bus touring or?
I was on a bandwagon with the band Hot Milk last summer when they were on the Blink-182 tour and Sad Summer Fest. And so that was also an interesting factor because it's not like we're in a van, it's almost easier to stop places. In a bandwagon, it's like you're driving over. It's like you get in the bandwagon, you drive to the show, you play the show, you get back in the bandwagon, you sleep while you drive, you wake up at the next venue. And so you're kind of like on your own to try and figure out, unless the venue has food at a specific time, it's like, okay, how do I get out of the parking lot of the venue to like walk a mile to the closest cafe or something? So I haven't really like had that much experience in that world. But
Shit.
yeah, but on van tours, and I mean on buses, we have food on the bandwagon too, but you have to do grocery runs. And
But like a van, you can drive like a car and just pull into a gas station.
Yeah, in a van, we're in a 12-passenger van, pulling a trailer with all the gear, and we will sometimes. But it's like we're driving through the country. The amount of times we've stopped at like Applebee's to eat dinner, I could recite their menu, and it's disgusting. So
are you more of like a Chili's person?
Definitely. Chili's mac and cheese. It's
Sponsor us.
Kraft mac and cheese. I know. Sponsor me, Chili's.
Chili's.
Actually, sponsor Daisy Grenade Chili's.
Just
you know
slap
who
it on the
does?
side of the hand.
You know who does sponsor Daisy Grenade is Taco Bell.
Oh, no
That's
way.
the best
Taco
thing you
Bell.
can get.
Shout out Taco Bell because they have a really cool program. I think it's called Feed the Beast, Feed the Beat. And it's, I could be completely butchering that. That might not be the name at all. But they will find up-and-coming touring bands who are on the road, and they will give them like X amount of dollars per month on gift cards to feed the entire
sick.
band and crew while we're touring. And so if we're all like in a pinch, we're going to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And we're using they send the gift cards as like a stack of like $50 gift cards. And so it's just, you're just like using $50 gift cards, like you're just
It's a lot of
constantly
tacos.
swiping gift cards. It's
How
crazy.
much is our total?
Right. It
Hey,
might
there's
be
a new Mountain Dew flavor coming out, so check it out on the new tour.
No. Ew. No, we try to still eat somewhat healthy, but it doesn't happen. I gained so much weight on tour. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it must be like tough because I know like just traveling for film is tough.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine like that sounds like a different level of tough. So like,
Yeah.
Are
Well, I'm
you-
editing in the van too.
oh my God.
What?
Yeah. Because
just-
we're
so-
driving.
Let's
Okay,
back
yeah.
up a minute and let's talk about your relationship
I'm done
with this
talking
band.
about film.
Yeah, fuck film.
Fuck the film world.
So-
No, I'm just kidding. I love it.
No, because it did lead you to where you were.
It did
you
lead
are
me.
now. But so like your relationship.
The writer's strike was what led me to working in this industry. But ask your question.
No, I mean,
I cut you off.
Set it up first. Set it
That's
up.
it. No, I mean, I mean, I know that you said you met Hannah.
Yeah.
Did Hannah already know the band and she brought you in? Like, how did
So-
you get
yeah.
involved with them?
So Hannah went to the same high school that Keaton Whitaker, who is one of the leads of Daisy Grenade. It's led by Danny Nigro and Keaton Whitaker. And Danny Nigro has no relation to Dan Nigro, who's an incredible producer who's making all the hits for like Chapel Roan and Olivia Rodrigo. And everyone thinks that Danny is a Nepo baby from Dan Nigro, and they don't know each other. So I'm setting the record straight. You're welcome, Danny. They have the same name. It's crazy. But Danny and Keaton met doing a Long Island production of American Idiot. And like the love for musical theater and pop punk kind of melded in a way that, and their voices were like, they had like one rehearsal together and then COVID shut it down. And so during COVID, they started singing more together. They posted it on Instagram. Hannah saw it because she went to high school with Keaton, and Hannah was like, you guys are good. Hannah had just done a Snapchat show, which who knew Snapchat did shows?
Shows, yeah.
But they do, and they pay people to make them. It's so cool. Congrats
Still?
to Hannah. No, they did.
Okay.
This was like years ago. She had cold reached out to Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy to music supervise because she had like seen interviews of him talking about how he like wanted to get more into like music supervision and film. So she cold emailed. It worked. They became friends. He has a label called DCD2. That's kind of like a subsidiary of Fueled by Ramen and Elektra and Warner Music. Hannah was like, you should sign these two girls. Because Hannah started like working with Danny and Keaton and was kind of like their pseudo manager before they got a manager who works in the industry as a manager. Hannah then became their creative director. It was time for them to shoot their first music video, Got It Bad. Hannah reached out to me. I was still working for that comedian who I was a writer's assistant for, but it was like kind of at the tail end. And I was just like itching to create because I had just been home like on my computer. And she asked if I wanted to shoot it because she knew that I could shoot stuff low budget. We had $2,000, I think, or $2,500 to make 2 music videos. And so all my gear, favors, which at the time it wasn't a lot of gear, didn't pay ourselves, mostly paid for food, mostly paid for locations, rented a car, and we shot 2 music videos over the course of like a couple months. Like we shot one in 2 days and then another in 1 day, for Got It Bad and Are You Scared of Me Yet? Okay. And it was hard, but it was the most rewarding thing I had done in a very long time. I decided to leave the job with the comedian. I'm like, who is he? No, I'll say his name. We'll bleep it out. No, I can't. NDA. But I was developing a TV show with my writing partner, Nicole Michon, and we were like about to start like pitching it to streamers. And then the writer's strike happened. And it was like my last day of severance also was like literally April 31st and the writer's strike started May 1st. And so I was like, oh my God, how am I going to like make money when my severance runs out? And Daisy Grenade was going on tour with Fall Out Boy. I wasn't going to go on tour with them because I never expressed to them that I wanted to go on tour, and I didn't even ever think that it was like a thing that I could do. I had never shot a concert before, other than just like taking okay photos of like Beyonce on my phone, you know what I mean?
But even those are okay. They're not bad. No bad ones.
They're okay. Yeah. They're honestly pretty good for like phone photos. Her Formation tour, I was right there, locked in. But I didn't know anything about it, like concert photography, touring at all. And it didn't sound very appealing to like be away from my home and my cat for that long. Hannah Klein and I, the creative director, we went out for their last show in Denver. And I was like, can I bring my camera? Can I shoot? And I had no idea how to do it. I didn't understand photo passes. I didn't understand like any passes in general, honestly. Like I didn't know you're not supposed to like take pictures of your passes. It's like a security hazard. Like I obviously didn't, but I learned all of these things leading up to it. And I go and I'm like filming the girls there. They have a 25-minute set. And so I'm just like, oh my God, this happens so fast. I'm like filming as much as I can, taking a couple pictures. At the time, I only had my Fuji X100V, which I popped on like a Ronin gimbal, like just a Ronin SC that I had gotten from another music video that I shot where I was like, pay me in gimbal. And so I like popped my Fuji on that. It was fine. And then I used my Canon 7D that I'd had for 10 years. I didn't have any like great mirrorless cameras or anything that I was using. So I went to that. I also asked if I could shoot Fall Out Boy. And they said yes because they're on Pete's label. And Pete was like, sure, I don't care. She like makes your music videos, right?
More pictures is better, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I guess she makes your music videos and okay, we'll give her a pass. So I did, and I like manically edited like all the fucking photos like that night. I was so jazzed. It was like so much fun. It was so exhilarating. I was stoked. And I took like really good pictures and I kind of shocked myself. And I've always been a photographer. My grandmother was a photographer. She like gave me my first camera. Like she was like the documentarian of our family. And so I like inherited my good eye from her for sure. And I remember staying up so late to edit all of the photos overnight because that's another part of like the job is just like quick turnaround. Like, you have to get these photos out so quickly or the moment passes.
They're dated at that point.
Yeah. And so I like sent this folder of photos to Hannah and the girls, and they texted it to Pete Wentz, and he posted my photos to his grid, like his Instagram grid. And I was like, what the fuck? He like texted.
Am I famous now?
He texted Hannah. I'll never forget. He texted Hannah when we were like taking off on the flight, and he goes, "What's her Instagram handle?" And I was like, "What?" I like love Fall Out Boy so much, so I was just like, "What is happening?" He posted. He tagged me in them. He really only posts photos that like their official photographers take. Elliot Ingham, who's amazing, and I was just like, oh, I'm good enough at this to like maybe continue doing it. And I like, it really was like a Shitty Rigs mentality of like scrapping whatever I fucking had together to like make it work. I like didn't have a card reader with me, so I was like plugging in like my camera directly into my computer in a way that was like so insane, using a cable that I couldn't even believe worked. And I just remember like flying home and being like, wow, I really like doing this. I then went to LA to shoot a web series with my friend Holmes, who, incredible actor, was on the series Welcome to Flatch as the lead. Amazing. They'll be in like a ton of upcoming stuff. Went to college together, acted in a bunch of my stuff. Shout out Holmes. Did a web series with them. While I was there, Daisy Grenade's manager called me and was like, I have an opportunity for you if you want to take it, because I saw the pictures that you took at the Fall Out Boy show. Would you want to go on tour with Meet Me at the Altar? They were going on tour with 5 Seconds of Summer, boy band, arena tour, one of the dates being Madison Square Garden, and like the Kia Forum. Huge tour. And I was like, huh?
So Daisy Grenade wasn't even your first tour. It was just your first show. Daisy Grenade wasn't the
first tour. It was my first show. This happened like 3 weeks later.
Okay.
Yeah, and but they just have the same manager, and they were like, so she was like, you should do this. I was like, okay. And so all of a sudden I'm like finding myself like taking like the train up to like upstate to like meet, to hop into a van with a bunch of people I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And like, that's how I met them, like jumping into their van. We did like one Zoom call before. And so I was on an arena tour for my first tour, and it was insane and scary. And yeah, that is how I like got to that point. And then it just... You
weren't even a photographer when you did that thing.
Yeah.
Like in your head.
I was a photographer like as a hobby.
As a hobby, you if anything, you had more of a career established in film, right? And then that kind of shut down, and then you do this thing where you're like, oh, I'll take some photos.
And
almost like a
reminder,
side
during
project.
The writer's strike,
exactly.
So there was no work.
Yeah.
Side project, like I'll do this. I like the band, and then now you're top of mind with this label, this manager, because they see your stuff. And they're like, hey, you want this massive job now? I mean, that kind of is like sort of what happens in the film world too, where someone makes an awesome indie, and then they're like, cool, do you want to direct Godzilla now?
Literally.
And you're like, what? I just did a $300,000 indie.
Yeah.
So they're like,
how do you handle that?
Yeah.
You know?
Like with you, and like you said, there are so many rules that you didn't know about. So like, can you explain like what are some of the basic, like I know some places you get 3 songs in the pit before you have to leave. Like you can't take photos from the crowd.
So that's for photographers. I learned all of those rules basically. I also want to give a shout out to Ashley Osborne, because she is an incredible touring and just like music photographer and videographer who she went on tour with, she shot everyone, but she was a touring photographer with 21 Pilots. And now she's like the in-house photographer for the Kia Forum. And I watched interviews that she did on podcasts like this and like written interviews. I just like studied her before I went on this tour. And I mean, so many people are making touring photographer, like concert photography, TikToks and Reels. Mm-hmm. It's like the resources are out there. So like shout out TikTok, yuck, but shout out TikTok creators for making so many videos that are like so generous. And I also don't really understand how you have time to do it when you're also doing photography. because I've like thought about like, oh, maybe I'll like pay it forward and post like a day in the life video, and I'm like, I literally can't even imagine.
Right.
Like,
but it's like you said,
filming.
when you take a break from the social media, then it takes you twice as long to amp it back up.
Totally. So Ashley Osborne, like I studied her, I learned like all of the tips, and then I ended up meeting her at the end of the Meet Me at the Altar tour. So like a month and a half later, I'm like sitting across from her at the Kia Forum because she had reached out to Meet Me at the Altar on Instagram to be like, hey girls, like I do the in-house and I'd love to like come shoot portraits. And I'm receiving this message on Meet Me at the Altar's Instagram account going, and they're like, oh, we know her. She shot us before. And I'm like, yeah, she's coming back. And I'm like sitting next to her, like talking to her, like talking gear. She's giving me tips. Like, it was just so full circle and was such a sign of like, oh, this is actually where I'm like meant to be right now. That shout at her because she also has like been around me in other like scenarios where she's giving me little tips. Like on the Blink-182 tour, she was like, chew gum when you shoot, because it like helps you focus more. And she'll like,
interesting.
Yeah, like she like offered me a piece of gum and I was like, oh, I'm good. And she's like, no, you should chew gum when you shoot. I was like, oh. And now every single time I shoot, I'm like chewing gum because I'm like, Ashley told me to do this. But I also, but it does help me focus and like stay locked the fuck in.
I could see that because it's like gives you like a rhythm almost.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of crazy how like little tips like that are so helpful. And so anyway, I studied a lot and I learned a lot of the rules where it's like, when you are a photographer, there are different kinds of photographers who shoot shows. So there's photographers who are hired through like publications. There are photographers who reach out directly to bands and they're just like, I'm a fan. And sometimes like they let you shoot to boost your portfolio. And then there's like the photographers who are there on tour. And then there are also like in-house photographers. But when you're a touring photographer, you have all access. So what I like to do is the other photographers who are there who are local, they'll have the first 3 songs in the pit. The rule is first 3, no flash. So like you're in the pit, you get the first 3 songs, you cannot use flash. And everyone's like scrambling around. I mean, if you've been to a concert and you're like at Barricade or you're above, you've seen what this looks like. So what I like to do is not be in the pit during the first 3 songs as a touring photographer and be like follow on stage or like be up in the crowd at first and like get like the wide shot of them like coming onto the stage or get like the shot of them walking onto the stage. But then I have kind of like free reign, and it takes a couple shows to, luckily with a band like Daisy Grenade that I'm like touring with all the time, I know their songs, I know the rhythm of their set, and they switch it up all the time, but like I knew it going into touring with them. I go to their rehearsals with them and I film their rehearsals, and a lot of the times we put those videos on TikTok and they like blow up. But with a band like Meet Me at the Altar that I didn't know, it took like a decent chunk of time for me to like really find a rhythm with them and understand like, okay, where do they go in this moment? Where do they go in that moment?
But the
like,
nice thing is you have the next day.
Exactly.
Right? So
if you fuck up, like you have the next day to get it. And so it's not the end of the world. And it was really cool to be shooting the same thing every night, multiple nights in a row, because it forces you to like find different ways of shooting the same thing.
Right.
And which is unique kind of to this job, where when you're on a film set, it's like really scripted out and like really detailed planned. And so that shift in my brain of going from, okay, this is all so meticulously planned out, to kind of letting things go and documenting what's happening was like a massive shift that I had to figure out how to do on the fly, kind of.
And so are there, like, when you said you have these two different cameras. You're doing a gimbal. You're doing your DSLR or mirrorless, anything like that.
I've upgraded.
Right.
Upgraded.
No.
But the whole Meet Me at the Altar tour, I was on my Canon 7D, and it was not good.
But so, like, when you're doing this, are you ever taking a photo and then you're like, okay, tomorrow this needs to be a video?
Absolutely.
Like, are you talking with the band about like what do they want for their Instagram? What do they want for their TikTok? Or
sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'll like pitch them an idea, and they'll be like, okay, go for it. Like a lot, like they're in a band. They don't like some bands that I've worked with. Like shout out Hot Milk, Hannah from the lead singer of Hot Milk. She is so locked into the visuals of the band that when I was on tour with them, there was a lot of like approvals that were happening, and like she posted everything on the band's account. Whereas if I'm with, which is awesome because it relieves me, it gives me more time to focus on the actual editing. And then when I'm with a band like DZ Grenade, it's like I kind of have free reign. I'll be like, how does this look? And they're like, cool. And I just post whatever we're all feeling in that moment.
For Meet Me at the Altar, you had just mentioned like you're on their Instagram. Like, were you posting for them? Like, what is the kind of schedule you guys are working on for that? Like, do you have to post the last show you were at to promote the next one? Like, what is this? Like,
so I tried, and when I was first starting out, to like really get locked into a schedule with everyone, but so much changes on the fly, and you just never know what's going to happen, that it kind of becomes moot, where it's like,
just do what you can.
Do what you can, pump out as much as you can. It is expected to like post photos from the last show that you did, ideally within 24 hours. I try to get like a couple shots that I know are like my favorite. So like the process would be, okay, if I'm working with a lot of openers. So on the 5 Seconds of Summer tour, we were also in a van, which that's a hard thing to like be chasing an arena bus tour in a van. 'Cause we would have to leave early sometimes to be able to like drive to the next place, 'cause we're not driving overnight. Everyone else is driving overnight. We have to drive and then stay in hotels and sleep and then wake up and continue driving. Wow. It's a lot of like unpacking, which also gets into like the shitty rigs that I have to make to be able to like compactly pack some of my gear. But I would shoot the set, which like it's never more than 30 minutes. Shoot the set, immediately offload back in the green room, cull through photos once everything's offloaded. Like I'll open like Adobe Lightroom, or I'll open Bridge, and I'll like cull in Bridge, and then I'll just, anything that I've deemed 5 stars worthy, I'll put in a different folder, and then I'll just open those in Lightroom, and I'll just edit those.
Can you give us like how much do you shoot in a half hour? How many do you think you actually say are good?
I've gotten better about not being too trigger happy, but I think that it depends if I'm like shooting a lot of video for a show, but there are some shows where I'm shooting like 1,500 photos to 2,000 photos in a span of 30 minutes.
But then you only edit how many?
I tend to pump out like anywhere between, a low show amount for me would be like 20 photos, and a high amount would be like 75.
Okay. And then how many of those actually make it somewhere?
It depends on if I had a good night or not, but I would say we probably end up posting like between 5 to 10 photos from any specific show, out of the like, let's say, out of the, let's say, like, I think I average around like 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you post that all from like one show before the next show starts?
Ideally, yes, because then it's just like, because you want to be like posting for a reason. You want to be like,
but also like
Denver tonight, come through, like that kind of thing.
You know, it's like if they're not on tour right now. Mm-hmm. So it's like, do you go back and you like save some of these shots that didn't get posted originally, and you're like, hey, remember when we had fun? Like,
yeah, I think that like we like to do that. Also, if they're like announcing something, or if there's like a tour poster graphic that like we need to push, and so if we want to post the poster graphic again, we don't want to just have like a whole feed of poster graphics, and so we'll go and we'll find like a backstage portrait, or we'll go and we'll find like a really good shot of the two of them performing that we can like put as the main photo, and then we'll do like a carousel post.
Do you try to get like, I mean, and I guess this is more for like records for yourself or anything. Do you try to get a photo like BTS portrait at every place they play?
Yeah.
And
try to.
Is that like after sound check kind of thing, or?
It's usually kind of right before they go on stage, or like, here's the other thing. When you're touring as women, you don't want to do your makeup like too early in the day, and you don't want to like get ready too early in the day. So that also limits the amount of time that you can actually take photos. So like whenever they're done getting ready, and usually it'll happen after sound check, like we'll eat and then they'll get ready. And I would say in the like 30 minutes before they go onto the stage, I try to find time to do it. And a lot of the times, like literally 30 seconds before they go on stage, I'll have either a flash or sometimes I just like using like a handheld light, like just a little, one of those little panel lights or whatever, and that I can just shove into my pocket right afterwards backstage, because it's so dark.
Right.
Everywhere you go in a club.
Is this unique to Daisy Grenade, like that you're like kind of the social media manager? Is this like when you get hired as a photographer, like you essentially take over their feed and you're posting things? Like, to me, it seems fucking wild that like a band would hire someone and just be like, take it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it is unique to us specifically because, I mean, me, Danny, Keaton, and Hannah, we are talking every single day. Like, you have pinned conversations in your iMessages. It's like they are up there in the number 2 spot for me. So it's like we are constantly talking about like the visuals and what's happening next, and like, okay, do we want to plan a content day shoot? And I do think it is a little bit unique for touring photographers, because a lot of touring photographers, I think, also like they go on tour with a band and then that band is not going on tour and they're not. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I forgive you.
And then they're not working with the band outside of tour as much. A lot of some people do. But I'm lucky enough to be on the creative team, so I'm with them full time, basically. Yeah. So I think it is unique to hand over the keys to me to do it. But I did it for Meet Me at the Altar. I didn't do it for Hot Milk. I like both. It kind of just depends. Right. I'm able to, I know the girl's voice enough where like we can workshop something together. We're already, and I also was a writer's assistant. So it's like that also comes into play where it's like, I know how to write in other people's voices.
Because that's like what I'm thinking. I'm like, you know how to write.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, anyone can like, any photographer can like post a photo, but a lot of it comes down to like the caption and then getting that tone of like, who follows that band and can you match that world?
Exactly.
And so, okay, let's get a little bit deeper into this unique connection that you have with them, because the way that I found you, which I think most bands don't do, like you are part of like I'm
in the DG cinematic universe.
But it's like you're like
people give me bracelets.
It's like the way that it's like even if it's a session guitarist or just like a touring musician or something like that, you are there with them and you are getting credit. Like people get shout outs on stage, or sometimes people don't even shout out their band on stage, which is wild to me. But like you're getting tagged in like their Instagram photo, like so they're constantly like giving you credit as much as you're promoting them. So it's like this is something that's kind of unique. You're growing with them, you're helping them grow. Like if they didn't have these visuals, they might not be where they are. So it's like can we talk about like how this is an option for other people like looking to get like find a band that you like and do it
I think
together.
that I get a lot of questions about like and I love getting these questions, for the record. Like, I get so many questions that are like, how did you get on tour with a band? And I mean, just based on like everything I've talked about, obviously you've heard the entire trajectory, but I think that what people don't realize is like, I've never shot for a publication. There's so many different ways you can go about doing it. I've never shot for a publication. I know people who have shot for publications where the artists that they shoot will then reach out and be like, I love your work. Are you available? It's rarer, I think. But if you connect, it's kind of across the board with all creative industries. If you connect with people in a friend, human way, grow with them, find a band that you really like. That's the other thing. I love Daisy Grenade music. Love it. They play me a new song, I cry. I love being a part of their world and the process of them making new songs, and I'm a fan of their music. I think they're incredible, and I think they're going to blow up. And so having someone like that who believes in them, who is on their team, and I mean everyone on their team believes in them. They're special. Look them up. They're special. I'm like, they're special.
We are in an interesting, I've seen there's so many last tours happening now, and there's people trying to make comebacks, and we live in a world of nostalgia right now. So being a band and trying to get that blow up moment is really weird now, because you are living in a content driven world where
Totally.
you need to have this face that's constantly posting, that's constantly doing this, because MTV isn't playing this band that's then getting on TRL that then's blowing up that way. It's a different world. There's
it's a full-time job too.
You don't have the MySpace page that's playing your music in the background or something like that. This is the way. You hear a lot of these people. I think it was the All American Rejects were talking about. It's nobody wants to hear new music from us. They just want to hear our old stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so now you're it's more than just music. You're creating an image that people like to be a part of, and you're promoting this whole thing. You're building a world.
Totally.
So I think it's an outlet that a lot of people, everybody interacts with it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, everybody sees these bands post these things, but they don't realize that is a job now. They don't realize that there is a person that can be in charge of helping this world grow.
Yeah.
And it I think that, I mean, you're obviously doing things to help promote that, but it's a really cool thing that more people should even look at. Oh, I love music. How can I be involved with it? Fucking talk to people, dude.
Right.
They need it as much as you want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I also see this as what you're doing is actually the solve to the problem that we're all kind of in, right? We're all waiting for some other entity to hire us, or some other entity to find us to get it. And it's if we just ignore that entity, come together, you create your own entity together, and then that entity will now when that magazine or whatever, they want your stuff, the band owns the stuff because you guys made it collectively.
Exactly.
Now you can license it to them. It's not their photos that they take of you, and then you have to figure out how to get them.
And you have to build that trusting foundation, because there are unfortunately a lot of photographers who are very greedy and have worked with, I know some bands who they'll shoot something for free, and then the band will want to use the photos, and then they'll come back and be actually it's $10,000, and it's come on.
Right.
How do you balance that? How do you balance getting paid but also?
So what I will say, and this isn't anyone's fault, this is just the reality of where the band was at when I first started. I wasn't paid for a lot of the stuff that I did for Daisy Grenade, and I think the first year and a half, but neither were they. Nobody was paid. We were all working separate jobs as well. The only reason that I could afford to do those music videos for free, basically, was because I was working full time with a salaried job and then had severance. They're working day jobs. It sucks. We don't want to be doing that anymore. We want to have money and people giving us opportunities. But it took a while for me to get to a point even where I was getting paid to go on tour with them. Where I've gone on tours with them where I didn't get paid. And it was a sacrifice that I was willing to make because of the credit that I would get, the portfolio building that would happen. I'm getting to make these music videos that are going on Fueled by Ramen's channel, and that's enough for me for that moment in time. Now I'm just kind of okay, this is work that I'm really putting stuff into, and I know that there's money that the label can give.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a little less giving with my time. because I need to go and make money elsewhere in order to afford to do the Daisy Grenade stuff. So like I'm literally working on a movie full time right now for the next 2 months right up until I leave for tour so that I can afford the rate that I have for tour. So it's a hard balance, but I'm like so committed to the project, and we all are. And I mean, like, creative directors barely fucking get paid. I get paid more than creative directors sometimes most of the time, because I have like a tangible skill that's easier to pitch to a label.
Right.
Where like, even though a creative director is sometimes doing twice as much work as me in terms of time and effort, like it's not as tangible of a thing to prove that you're doing the work, which sucks ass. Pay your creative directors labels. Like, oh my God, like they're making you all this money.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much time also goes into the social media aspect of it. Because it's like, it's exporting, it's editing on the road and then exporting and hoping that like your phone, like, hotspot like connects enough to be able to like upload like photos to a Dropbox when you're like on a 9-hour drive and you need to like deliver stuff.
Everyone thinks it's easy, and then it's like it's easy if you just do it like once. It's tough to just repeat it over
And it's easy if it's in the same location every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're in your living room, you know that the internet's there, you know that there's
It took me a really long time to figure out how to pack for tour. Gear wise,
That's exactly
like how do you charge in a van?
So
like that's...
I've had a couple iterations of like charging rigs that I've made, that I've brought like portable charging rigs, because I use a Fuji X100V and now I use a Canon R6 Mark II.
But you like the Fuji more, right?
Sometimes. I love Canon sponsor me, Fuji sponsor me. I love both of the cameras. They do different things for me equally. Does that make sense? But I have like 2 separate batteries for that. Also, there's obviously like Sony batteries that always need to be used for something like a monitor or something, or a light. But I have kind of perfected my like mini thing. I'll like take a picture and send it to you so you could be like, here it is. Look at the bottom of the screen. This is my rig. I took like one of those like hard shell, like small.
Like a Pelican case?
Not a Pelican case. Like literally it's like this big for my Fuji that I initially bought as like a hard carrying case for just my Fuji X100V. And I glued 2, like a Canon charger and a Fuji charger, and have cables that are like snugly connected into it and like secured. And so I just like open that, and I keep my batteries inside of it as well because there's like enough space. Keep my batteries like zipped inside of that. And then when I get to a venue, when I get to a green room, I open that, I plug all my batteries in, I plug those 2 cables into like a just like one of those like extension cords that has like a USB-C, a USB, like a plug, like that kind of thing. And I just like plug that into the wall, and like that's my setup. And so I've had to perfect it, where like I had a bigger rig when I had my Blackmagic with me as well on tour, and like it's taken a lot of like configuration and figuring stuff out. But I also like I was taking a Pelican case out, and then it got to a point where, because I wanted to have access to my gear in the van, a Pelican case was a little bit too hard for me to like keep in the van. So I got a backpack that is like a camera bag, and I also didn't like having to take my Pelican case out of the trailer every single night to like bring into
to the
hotels, and also all my clothes. It's just like it's too much. And so I've had to kind of like humble myself, because I'm like, I want to look cool with my like stickered Pelican case like in the arena, but I just don't have the space to.
Who are you looking cool for? The people you're with every day.
Right. I'm like the other photographer who's cool and is judging me for just having a camera backpack or whatever. But because I like now just have a camera backpack, it's like, okay, I know that I need to like bring a tote bag to like throw just like a couple extra things inside. And I know to like bring a hook, like just like a plastic hook to like stick onto the window of the van to be able to like hang my headphones or like hang a cable. I have like a car charger for my laptop that I like plug into the cigarette lighter.
Okay. It's one of those things where it's like you can plan for 6 months about this, but if you're not doing it and you're not going through the actual motions, all the planning means nothing because as soon as you try it,
exactly,
now you need something else.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like you have to go on tour.
You have to live it.
You have to get burned to like know what you need in your kit.
Totally.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten burned really bad on anything in the beginning? You're like, shit. And you never forgot it.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, there have been multiple times where I just like literally forget to press record. That is a nightmare. That happens to all of us, right?
Yeah, it does. We talk about it.
Yeah. It happened once on the podcast.
No.
I mean, I'm sure it actually happened.
Yeah, no, it probably has.
Is that one rolling right now?
We roll out. Yeah.
Oh, I've dropped lenses because I'm like moving too fast. I left a lens. So like I have my Fuji X100V, which like I'll bring that with me mostly to the sound checks to just like be able to take like quick photos. And I have like the 50 millimeter attachment for it. And I dropped that and it has a dent. And so now I can't like use any filters on it. But if I do want to use filters, I have to like tape it to it because like the ring doesn't, because the ring has a dent in it. So nothing fits. And I left it. So like Hot Milk was playing the Blink-182 show at SoFi Stadium. Which was one of the coolest venues I've ever been to. I like quickly took my 50 millimeter off and put it on the drum riser, but it's Pierce the Veil's drum riser. And I left it on there throughout the entire show leading up to Pierce the Veil being on the stage. And I then couldn't find my lens anywhere in this fucking football stadium. When we were packing up to go, and then Lonnie, the drummer for Pierce the Veil, he comes by in like one of their like shuttle vans, and he's like, "Got your lens? That'll be $100." And I'm like, "Oh!" And it was horrifying because everyone around me was like, "You left gear," and I was like, "On the stage, yeah." And I'm leaving things places all the time because you're just packing up and putting away so much. So I've lost things. RIP so many cables. And so just like bringing extra stuff.
What like in your bag? So you want access to it when you're in the van. What's
in my bag?
Well, because sometimes
what's in your bag?
Because you guys are like sometimes you're recording like them doing like a live take of a song to release. Like what kind of mics are you carrying? Like that's not something.
Literally a shitty mic. It is not anything major at all. Like I have no name brand mic. It's just like a shotgun mic on my camera. Weirdly, I found that the cheaper mics work in arenas and it's fine. I have like the gain set so low because everything is so crazy loud. But in my bag will be my camera body. I'm kind of a freak where I have a few things I want to get into.
Yeah, go for it.
I rent lenses sometimes for tour, where I own a 15-35 RF, and I have a 135 prime, which is kind of unheard of for concert photography to like use prime lenses unless you're like first starting out and you like just have like a nifty 50. But I was like, I want the 135 prime. Which is psychotic, but...
Are you taking photos from the back row? Like
kind of. I mean, I'm in arenas, so it's like... And I want it to open up to like a 1.8, you know? And the zoom lenses just don't open up that much. So I sacrifice sometimes like using that for like these gorgeous shots, but I can't like snap zoom or anything, which sucks. But I'll rent like a 70-200 for tour. And I'll just not have the range of like 35 to 70 in my kit for tour because I'm just kind of like I'm either right up close or I'm really far away. That it's just like what's the difference between 70 and 50 really
it's too
when you're
middle
shooting?
ground
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Everyone else got that photo. You can
Yeah. But like a lot of photographers have two camera bodies. I'll always have my Fuji on me just in case I'm like in the pit and I have my 70 to 200 on for like closer shots. But I want to make sure that I get, like, if something, say the girls go into splits randomly, happens, where they just all of a sudden are doing the splits. I want to make sure that I have like a wide enough lens for that. So carrying like different variations of stuff. I also can't afford a fisheye lens. So I have like a $40 fisheye, like one of those like cheap like magnification fisheye lenses that I attach onto my any camera, honestly, with like a step up or step down ring. But when I do it on my Canon, when I do it on my R6, I'll like use so many step down rings that it creates a circle effect. So it's like a wide angle circle image, which is really cool. And like doing that with a flash is always like an interesting thing. And then when I put it on my Fuji, it like is like basically a fisheye. So I'll like once I have a couple shows in, I'll like get experimental with it, with those kinds of fun.
Do you think having those kind of rigs that are like unique to you, do you think that helps drive what your style of photography is?
I think so, yeah. I think that I really, really like using like prism lens effects, like glowy stuff, like Cinebloom on my Fuji.
What did it take for you to get away from being afraid of like, I have to capture this clean? Because I feel like that's like a big thing that a lot of people, especially for like a live event, like I'm here once, if I miss it, it's gone. Like, how do you say like, okay, I'm going to take this in a funky manner because it's in the long run, it's going to look cool? Like,
I think a lot of it is like the fact that I shoot a lot of women. I like to use like softer filters that just like help give it more of like an ethereal vibe. But it took me, it just takes time to like feel confident in doing it. Like you do it enough to where it's like, oh, I'm realizing that my favorite pictures are the ones that the lights are glowy. And
yeah, like don't test it.
Right.
Like don't just like pick this up and go out and do it.
Yeah.
It's like add it in a couple times, check it out and stuff.
And I'll keep a filter on. So like say I'll start with my like 15 to 35 that doesn't have any filters on it. And then I'll have like a fanny pack that has my 135 prime in it that already has the like a glowy effect filter on it. And then I'll just pop that on. Like I've gotten really good at like switching lenses.
On like right away? Like you just like in there, you're just twisting filters on in the middle of
No. Like I'll already have the filter on in like with a lens cap on top of it, and then I'll swap my lenses and the filter will already be on one lens. So it's like half of the photos will be like wider angle with that filter on, and then the other half will be. So I'll make sure that I have like step up rings with me because I buy all my filters 82 thread. So that I can like.
Do you try to switch them from like one show to another so that like, just so you're getting like a
variation? I try to, and it's also venue dependent. Like if I'm in like a club that has kind of like shitty lighting, I'll try to use like the glowy
Clubs
filter.
Don't do that.
No, never.
They never leave the red lights on for 80% of the set.
Nightmare. Black and white. Every photo in black and white, the lighting was fucked. If I'm not vibing with the lighting, I'll definitely like experiment more with the filters because I'm like, I've got to like make these like a little more interesting in some kind of way. But like my experience in filmmaking has just, I think, given me a slightly unique eye where a lot of my photos are like cinematic. Like I try really hard to make them feel cinematic, and I also take a lot of stills from videos that I'm shooting. Okay. So like a lot of
shooting high res.
Oh yeah, I'm shooting 4K. Okay. I'm shooting 4K. I'm shooting 60 frames the majority of the time, which that was another lesson that I had to learn because I wanted to start doing more slow-mo with some of the shots. And I was nervous because like you crank up to 60, then you like it's darker and like it's harder. But when you're at 60, it gives you more opportunity for like cleaner frames as well to pull from. And I like the look of 60 on like a 23 timeline, you know what I mean? Versus like shooting 23 on 23 timeline. It gives it like a joltier, more like exciting feel. but those kinds of things, like that was through like talking to other photographers, like on like a sad summer fest where like every band has a photographer with them. You really learn, and you shoot for each other, and so you learn like Jacob Moniz, who shoots like Mayday Parade. He's on tour with Amberlin right now. He is like incredible. He shoots for Sad Summer Fest, and he needed additional assistance from a lot of us like throughout the tour, because it was just like a traveling festival tour. And he was like, can you just like shoot from this angle, whatever you can get? And I'd be like, okay, what are your settings? And through like those kinds of conversations, you learn like how other people are shooting, and you try to like match what they're doing, and then you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting actually. Like I've never really thought to do that on that. It's just like talking to people.
So how are you like as you're doing this tour, you're getting ready for your next tour? Are you seeing all this stuff coming out with AI? Are you incorporating things? Are you scared of it? Are you embracing it? Like, what's your thought on it?
I am a little bit scared of AI, but I do understand the power of it. I definitely do use AI in photo editing sometimes, but like when it's like removing an object in an image that I want to have a little bit more of, it's like, okay, this image is stunning, but there's like a light in the background that's like really distracting. It's like a bright red like exit sign, and I'm like, I want to get that out. So like I'll use like generative fill to get rid of that. But if I wanted to, I could also like stamp, like just use like the clone tool and stuff if I really wanted to. But for quickness and for ease, the other thing actually, cool AI in Lightroom is like the denoise feature. That, I mean, it saved me when I was using my Canon 7D.
Right. But it's not like it's a little bit different in the sense that like nobody can be like, give me photos of Daisy Grenade on tour at this venue. Oh my God,
yeah.
They can't generate.
It's really going to be hard to generate that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're capturing something that has to be captured.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
not.
Does it help though? Like it's hard to generate, but if you have a shot and you're like, damn, I wish I had a certain filter on it or something, or like change it up.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't really use AI in that way at all. It really is just like more like removing distracting things.
It's like a tool. You're using
it's a tool.
It's a tool.
Which is the way it should be.
Right.
Which is what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Should be.
No.
A tool.
But yeah, I like, there have been so many different like funky experiments I've like done with like different cameras and stuff. Like Daniel Rojas, he's the photographer for Blink-182. He's like kind of Travis's personal photographer too. When I was on that tour, I was like trying to figure out how I could shoot some slow-mo and regular speed at the same time, and he was like, just put your Fuji on top of your Canon. And so I like started shooting, because I was shooting like vertical. This is the other thing with social media. It's like you want to be shooting horizontal, but you also do want some clips to be vertical. So I'll have like, when I shoot on my Canon, I'll have like the vertical bars as like a guideline on there to like really make sure that I'm like, okay, if I needed to make this vertical, it's fine. But I'm a filmmaker, so I like shooting things horizontal. Right. And it's easier on your hands. But I also would like use a small rig clamp to like attach my phone to my camera and just be shooting the whole time. Just like press record and go and be like, okay, now I have like the whole thing on video on my iPhone. But then I was like, I want to shoot it in slow-mo and I want to shoot it on my Fuji. And so then I would start like attaching my Fuji vertical to the top of my camera, and it looked insane. We'll put another photo.
And then you have an Insta 360 on the side clipped this way.
No,
and then you're
doing a log of yourself.
I have the Insta 360 magnet like attached to my chest.
Don't forget the meta glasses.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It's really crazy. The kinds of rigs that and I like have the time to like experiment with these kinds of things and build them out, and like people look at you a little bit insane when you're like walking around with like stacked cameras.
Yeah, but then they see the footage and they're like, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. So as you're exploring all this stuff, right, and you're making your own rigs, what's that Ashley Osborne moment for you, passing it down to the next generation of filmmakers and photographers?
I got a little bit snippy on my Instagram story right after Daisy Grenade announced that they were going on tour with Pierce the Veil, because people were DMing me being like, can I get MSG access? Like, can you get me on the photo list for Madison Square Garden? It's like, one, I don't fucking know you. Two, you don't understand like the security risk and stuff. So I appreciate when people like ask me questions that are like specific, like because that's always what I did. It's like, you want to ask questions, you want to reach out to people and ask people questions if you legitimately have a question that they can like help you with that isn't going to like jeopardize their career or the band's safety, or like just like easy stuff. But it's also okay to just reach out to people and be like, I really like your stuff. Like, I do that all the time, and I learned that from Keaton, actually. Like, she's really good about just like DMing other bands and being
just cold call Pete Wentz and see if you can.
Right. Right, exactly, guys. But like, there's this guy, Brandon Dermer, who he's like a director in LA, and he has like kind of a similar, he's further along, but he and very, very successful, but he has like kind of this career trajectory that I feel like I'm following. And I came across this stuff because he did something with Blank, and we have mutuals, and he had developed he had directed episodes of a show with people that I was developing with. And so I was like, okay, I have like a reason to reach out to him, just to be like, I appreciate your work and respect it. Also, like, if you're ever shooting in New York and you want like a BTS photographer, like,
Right.
please keep me in mind, but no pressure.
That's a different kind of question than saying, get me in.
Than saying, hey, can you get me a pass to Madison Square Garden? So, like, I'm getting, like, kind of half and half of, like, I love your work, but also stuff like that. And so it's a little annoying. But I'm always down to, like, talk shop with people, obviously. I mean, you heard me just yap for a fucking...
Yeah. But you're also adding value, right? You're adding value to someone's work. You're not being the person like, just get me into Madison Square Garden.
But
like
there's an end to it too, where it's like, okay, like obviously this person wants to shoot Madison Square Garden. Who knows what their like background is?
Yeah.
You've built up to this.
Yeah.
So it's like all the experiences that you've had have brought you to the point that you're at. If somebody, if you were a Nepo baby and somebody was just like, here, shoot this show.
I wish. For the record, does anyone want to hire me as a Nepo baby, please?
Sure.
Yeah,
like,
adopt me as a Nepo
it's
baby.
great
I'm
until
available.
you get dropped into Madison Square Garden and it's your first show and you don't know how lenses work. And now you're, and like, you've never been backstage and you don't know how to scout.
Totally.
Like, I want to shoot from this rafter and I don't know the 3 songs and I don't know any of the rules and I'm posting my photo badge and now no one can ever shoot here again. Like,
and I've never said a word to the security team, so they don't know to like let me back if I, you know what I mean? It's like you
There's
have
so
to
many
know
things
you
that-
have to know like who to talk to. And the other thing is like, because I worked so much in film, like I knew that the first people you befriend are the Teamsters.
yeah.
And it's the same with security on tour. And I clocked it immediately. And I was like, oh, those are the fucking people that I need to like befriend so that if I'm ever in a pickle, I can call them.
Yeah.
If I don't ever have a parking spot on set, my best friend, the Teamster, is going to come.
Even if you're, I mean, that's good advice, even if you're a fan. Like, I was in a pit for a show recently, just like in the crowd, and I left to go to the bathroom. I talked to the security guy on the way out, washed my hands, and my stamp was gone. And he coming back in, he was like, show me your stamp. Like, I don't. And then the other guy was like, I talked to him.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, stamp is a terrible way to.
I know.
But yeah, it's like there are people that you should know all over the place, and it's like it's developing those relationships that you need to do. It's not just don't asking for a handout is fucking stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Developing a relationship to be given a handout because you've earned it is so different from that.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's your next move here? Like, you're going on tour, but like, what do you want to like turn this into, I guess? Are you staying with them? You want to like elevate it?
So young, so I have so much time. No, I'm like approaching scary age.
No, you're not. Trust me.
No. Whoa,
I'm in my 30s.
You're still young, very young.
Still young.
It's different for women, guys. Come on.
Cut that out.
Wow. Cut that out.
That's
Actually,
Keep that
I got a
in.
new baby girl. Yeah, we got a new baby
He's
girl.
blacklisted now.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, fuck Bert. Keep that in.
I'm showing that to.
No, we got that supercut going.
I'm
We
showing
didn't
that
even
to
have to
Corey.
prompt that.
I'm showing that to everyone. Yeah.
Oh God. What do I want to do?
Well, you're going on tour, right? So
Yeah.
you're doing that, but is there a way where you're gonna like sort of merge your film knowledge world and this
Totally.
tour world?
Like,
Yeah.
are you trying to get a live music video out of this tour?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I mean, I feel like it happens on every tour where, like, the next iteration of, like, what I'm trying to achieve, which ultimately with Daisy Grenade is, like, I have all this footage. I would love to make a documentary about them, like, in the future. We're not ready for it yet, but, like, I love that I've been here since the beginning, essentially. I missed, like, the first year and a half, basically, of the band, but, like, I've been here since the beginning to document, like, their trajectory. Like, I was right there next to them on their first arena tour. Like, I am filming, like, I'm asking them questions like, how does it feel to be here right now? This is crazy, right? But I would love to make a documentary about it, and I started doing that a little bit, like going more like the narrative, LOL narrative documentary, but like I've been going more Hot Milk kind of. Okay, wait.
You're not wrong that
No.
there is a narrative to documentary. There's
No,
structure to a
absolutely.
documentary.
So Hannah from Hot Milk, when I was with them, she wanted to do these like really cool like minute long like instrumental pieces with like her talking over them, really like moody and like inspiring, and just like in 3 parts, because we were on the Blink tour for a little bit, and then we were at Sad Summer, and then we were back on the Blink tour. So we wanted to do like capture those 3 periods of time. And I did like a lot of slow-mo shots that like it was crafting a narrative that I hadn't really like thought about doing with Daisy Grenade, but because someone else was there being like, I would love to do this thing, I can bring this to the table, here's what I need from you. It kind of opened my eyes to a different way of shooting like behind the scenes footage, of like shooting a lot of things. Like that's when I started shooting more things at like 60 frames per second, of like shooting more things for like slow-mo, like B-roll, trying to capture like the mundane moments, but also like trying to direct everyone a little bit to be like, hey, like I know you're doing your warm-up, can you just do it right there under that light?
Yeah.
You know, just to like make it feel a little bit more cinematic, or like there's a chair right there that I know you're just going to be like sitting in, like getting into the right headspace. Can we just move it a little to the left? Like,
Or punk if it's over here.
right. And like just having like open communication, but I think that like the next steps would be to kind of like expand on that, and try to create more like narrative content that is like, I really, really like shooting behind the scenes stuff. And it excites me a lot because a lot of it is like being back on set in a weird way. Like I just shot the Backstreet Boys, actually. Like I was hired to shoot some BTS stuff for the Backstreet Boys. They are revamping their like Millennium album. If anyone's familiar with the Backstreet
yeah.
Boys Millennium album.
yeah.
Anyone know the Backstreet Boys? But
Who?
they're doing like a residency at the Sphere in Vegas, and I got hired by their social media team because I did one random show that this like someone referred me to this like person who runs a social media company. She hired me for this random show that like didn't actually go that well for me, but it wasn't really my fault. And she kind of wanted to like pay it forward, and she needed me to like help with an interview of one of the guys from the Backstreet Boys and also do BTS. And because I have like all of these different skill sets, she was like, come in, I'll pay you like $1,500 for like 8 hours of work essentially.
Wow.
And I was just like documenting behind the scenes of like the Backstreet Boys getting ready for their SNL 40 or SNL 50 performance, them on the Today Show, them announcing like all of the stuff for the Sphere, like a press junket where it's like, I am going to probably get hired again to continue shooting more stuff. Maybe, hopefully, if you're watching this, I would love to continue doing this, but we've had conversations about it. To like continue shooting more behind the scenes content of bands who are like, it's a cool merge of like my interests of like, I love music, obviously. If you don't, I think you're a freak. I'll say it. If you don't like music, do you disagree?
I agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm just trying to figure out,
singled you out.
because you keep kind of tangenting onto like one.
I know.
sort of thing.
You're like
So I'm
your
trying
brain
to-
is
trying to
scary.
get like a definitive answer here, like.
Definitive answer is I'm writing shows, I'm writing movies, I'm trying to also document this band's rise, and I'm kind of seeing what takes me where first. I don't think that you need to. It's hard because I think I'm definitely like jack of all trades, master of none right now. I would love to become a master of something, but right now I'm kind of in my like gathering stage of just absorbing as much information about different things as I can, and like who knows, maybe I'll write a show about behind the scenes on a tour, you know, like I have that unique experience of like being on a tour and also being a filmmaker. So I'm writing things, I'm developing things, I'll be pitching things. Like I am just kind of getting my writing projects in a place where like when I am on tour, they can be sent out so that I can take the time on tour to make money while things take a while. Things take a really long time.
But I see it as like you're using like tour photography as like a entry point to then now you're kind of moving into like video on tours, and like, I can easily see like a documentary world where you're following like a band from
Totally. And I mean, I love band documentaries. I think they're incredible. I love them so much. And we actually talked about when we first chatted about the Daniels and how they went from doing like music videos to Swiss Army Man to Everything Everywhere All at Once, and like that trajectory is super interesting to me because it's like I love shooting music videos. It's such a nice like compact project that you can do in such a short period of time. It's hard.
Turn Down for What changed my life.
Turn Down for What is an incredible music video that the Daniels made, if you didn't know. Oscar-winning Daniels made the Turn Down for What music video. And I think that there's so much crossover in those worlds, especially today as music videos get more narrative. There's short films, and you don't have to worry about, no offense to people who love sound, you don't have to worry about sound. The track is there. And
and that's a good point, because like you talked a little bit about the Hypocrite music video. The latest music video you guys did for Daisy Grenade is a story, and there is audio in there. Like when they pull up at the beginning with the in the parking lot and stuff, like you're hearing the world that they're in before the music.
And you know
kicks
how
in.
we recorded that? On my iPhone. We just had my iPhone sitting like in the back in a pocket, or so we might have like taped it to a seat or something, like just recording like a voice memo. And like I had like my shotgun mic on my camera, but like we didn't have a sound person, like we didn't have a boom pole. Half the time I'm ever recording sound, it's like a random mic that's like taped to a broomstick, you know, like it's not anything fancy whatsoever.
Just, you know, Alan cut off your mic.
I know.
It's like no one's gonna hear this part.
Well, I think like so that's pretty interesting because like I feel like
I would love to have a sound person for the record.
A lot of people.
Well, hold on, let's be real. There's so many sound people involved in the musical recording before you ever get on stage.
100%.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people's like sort of hesitation a lot of times is they don't have the right equipment. They don't have the right access. It's like you seem to be like fighting through that.
Oh,
to like get
fighting hard.
So what would you say to someone like if they're like, because it is sort of like imposter syndrome, right? It's like, oh, I'm not good enough to like do that. Like, how are you overcoming that to like, because you had it yourself, you know?
Yeah, I mean, people are always like, use the gear you have, and it's like sometimes that gear isn't good, and sometimes you do want to get more gear. So I recommend, if you can afford it, like renting things for short periods of time. It's like instead of buying a new zoom lens, which I can't really afford right now, it's like, okay, I'll pay a couple $100 to like rent it for 7 weeks, and that's worth it to me to also be able to like test out new lenses to like know what to do. But also just like really learning how to manipulate the things around me. Like when I'm on tour, like the world is my tripod, you know, like I'm like
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
I'm like putting my camera just like on a table, you know, like it's rare. I mean, I'm forgetting my tripod in the van constantly, which is a problem that I specifically have, but I'm like always just like, okay, what object in this room can I use to just put my camera on top of it to film the girls singing like an a cappella song, you know? And I think that like the whole like, I don't know, the whole like shitty rigs like attitude is like looking at something that's really scary and like you're afraid to approach, whether it's like a job or a problem that you're having on set, and like finding a way to like make it work and like it turns into something kind of extraordinary and special. And I think that is you like just having a good attitude and like not freaking out when things go wrong. And then when you problem solve, a lot of the times it's funny, you know? Like a lot of times you look at it and you're like, that's hilarious that we pulled that off. Like how the fuck are we here and how did we pull that off? But believing that like you're there for a reason and like,
well, that's why you're there. Because
Yeah.
like if you gave anyone like a shitload of money, they could figure out how to do it. You know?
totally.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a lot of money, you have to kind of like get creative, right?
You become the
creative.
person.
Yeah, you have to.
You become the person that gets called when the person has a shitload of money.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's also, it's scary to ask for money too, I will say. Like there's so many projects that I would love to do that like I'm still trying to figure out like how do I ask someone for $1 million to make this,
Right.
you know? And the way that like I'm navigating that is like, okay, I'm going to go back to film while I'm in between tours and I'm going to assist a producer. And I'm going to see kind of like the blind spot that I have of like, I've assisted a billion directors, but I have never assisted a producer. And so now having this new avenue of like, okay, they're creating a deal memo. I'm the one that's usually just like sending out a deal memo if I'm working in an office, but like, okay, how does a deal memo get made? You know, like seeing how things are pulled together before like you're actually the one just like typing numbers into a document. I think is important to like, I think it's important to like ask questions and
I mean,
go seek out answers
Yeah.
to the things that you're curious about.
and if you can't get them by working on set, I think that's where a tool like AI comes in handy. If you're not skilled at like, oh, how do I ask for that promotion? How do I ask for more money? Like you can use AI
But
to
use
generate
real
responses.
people, too.
No, I think you
Are you
absolutely
sponsored?
need
That
to.
we don't know about, like,
I
what
don't
is-
think that's the case.
I-
I
No,
think,
I
like,
think you.
I know I don't want to be.
This
I
episode
don't-
brought to you by ChatGPT.
I'm
It's
like,
better to
I
just-
disagree, actually.
don't use AI, because if you use AI, you're just going to use the canned response that like Google and the algorithm think you should use.
Yeah.
Every situation is unique, and like you got to talk to people who've gone through that situation before, or you got to talk to people who are closer to that situation, see what they would do, and then kind of come up with the situation with the answer yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree. But at the same time, if you can't like if you're not fortunate enough to get to be a producer's assistant or get to that opportunity, how do you find your way to talk to people? How do you find your way to DM someone?
Just literally
You
just fucking
build.
said
No.
it. Just
Yeah.
fucking DM someone and be like, I like your work.
Yeah, but like you got to think about that. No, I'm serious. Like I think about this
Well, you
because
have
I'm
to
like,
build a portfolio.
you have to build a portfolio.
Yeah.
You have to be able to have the courage to DM someone. But like if they didn't watch our podcast and like talk to us or talk to someone, they were like, okay, there's a lot of fucking people that are going on DMs and just like, I need this. So like you can use something like AI to be like, how should I approach this person?
No, I
And then-
but
and
I
then
think
approach
what
them.
you're literally
No.
describing.
Like, did you hear a single fucking word I said?
You're describing the people that sent her message asking for a free pass to MSG.
Have you used it? Have you used ChatGPT?
I
Yes.
have, yeah.
And I fucking hate it.
I think
don't
it's
like
helpful.
it.
I think it's helpful to get me the opportunity to talk to someone, and then I have to take it from there. I don't think AI is going to solve that shit for you.
I'm curious though.
We're
what-
gonna.
I think it's helpful to get rid of fucking lawyers and get rid of fucking marketers, because like
That's helpful.
nobody needs a marketing agency. Everyone can just do that themselves.
You could also live with a lawyer like me. My boyfriend's a lawyer.
That's great.
That works.
And you're going to need a lawyer, but like for some bullshit contract, you don't need to pay a lawyer for it. Most boilerplate contracts exist online, and it can just scrape that and give it to you.
Yeah,
you know?
There's a very like fine line of it's not even an imposter syndrome at that point, because that's a feeling that you have where you think that you are in a spot where you don't belong, but using ChatGPT to tell you how to, or to ask it how to tell you to approach somebody to get into a space that you haven't earned the right to be in, is the exact opposite of imposter syndrome. You are literally asking for this thing that probably can't do it correctly for a cheat code to get into a space where you don't belong.
Way easier solution: go into the space and fail.
Right.
Because you're going to fail and you're going to learn way more than ChatGPT is going to tell you.
I'm not saying like you should use it to get you in the space and then like expect at that point to be like, oh, I'm in here and like
what are you
figuring
typing?
out.
Is my question. Like what
If I'm reaching out to someone, I'd be like, let's say there's a photographer. I'm like, okay, so hey ChatGPT, this is my background. I have no experience. I have no idea how to even start a message to talk to them. What should I do? Should I DM this person? Should I go and try to get on this job? Do you know where there's jobs available? Like, how do I get into this?
But I don't think that ChatGPT is going to actually know those like real life answers.
You say, hey, what's up?
You say, hey,
like
dig your
start
work.
Start a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a podcast I listen to, the Diver CEO with what's his name?
CEOs.
Diver CEO.
None of this is going in this episode.
It's important. It's definitely there's another side to it. Not everything is just like one way, but I think he says something like a lot of people have DM'd him and just said, hey, what's up? A lot of people have done that. You have to add value to them.
Obviously, those are, you don't
like,
just say those three fucking words.
Yeah, you don't say like, hey, you up?
But you approach it with your personal experiences. Say, hey, this is what I've done. This is why I love this. This is why I want to be here. I see the things that you're doing. They mean a lot to me. How can I become a part of what you're doing? And you make it personal. You make it this thing that you care about. You do all this stuff, and you have feeling, which a fucking robot doesn't have.
So right now, what you just said as an answer, right? If someone's not watching this podcast, how do they get there? How do they get that? Right?
We're answering this question for people that watch this podcast.
I understand
to answer this question for someone that doesn't watch a podcast is so useless, because they're not watching this podcast to get the
entire fucking time.
I hear what you're saying.
She's like, I went on an arena tour. I didn't know what to do, so I found this photographer that went on arena tours, and I watched all her podcasts and basically learned through.
Yes, but if the algorithm's not putting our podcast out there.
Okay, Jamie has something to say, Stefan.
As someone who has the drive and the extreme desire to achieve a goal that I'm setting out, you have to put in the work of doing the research and figuring out where to find these answers. And real people giving answers will always be, and having actual real life experience will always be better. I'll say it will always be better than just a robot
100%.
spitting out an answer.
100%.
And I think that part of the way that you earn the opportunity to talk to people is by doing your own research and getting your own experiences. You build a relationship with someone that isn't just based on asking for something. Yeah. And you just have to do the grunt work before you get to that point of being able to ask.
So when you're researching, what are you utilizing to research?
YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit message boards, shit like that.
That's what I'm talking about, where you replace trying to find that with AI that helps you find that.
I mean, yeah, it can help you find the resources, but then you still have to fucking
Yeah, no, I understand that.
That's not what you said.
Okay, well then maybe I said it the wrong way.
This is actually a perfect example. So I love the film world. I wanted to be more connected to it. Work was slow. We started this podcast. We are doing the work of reaching out to all of these hundreds of artists that we respect and want to talk to and learn their craft. Key grips, gaffers, costume designers, all these people that do the work all over the place that I don't understand, but I want to.
When Shitty Rigs DM'd me,
I freaked out. So this is the thing. So I found you through a post that Daisy Grenade put up, and I think it was the live song for Taste or something that you were doing in the van.
Yeah.
You were recording the girls singing, and I replied, "Show us the rig."
And I was like, it's my hands.
That was the thing. Yeah. We have this platform that we built on our own time because we were idiots in college. Somehow it got big, and people respect that. That has given us the validity to reach out to other artists that we respect and get them to communicate to us.
And maybe I was saying it wrong, but when you're talking about
AI is not going to replace all the experience that we have built.
It's not. But for people who are coming into the film industry that do not know about shitty rigs and need to find their way in, utilizing a tool like that.
The answer is do anything.
Literally, just go
anything
online.
Of value at all.
That's what it's replacing, is going online.
Go on
using
Google
AI to
and
get
do
there.
how to get in film industry and just start.
It's replacing Google. That's what I'm saying. It's replacing
not,
Google. It
because
is.
all
Not for me.
I love this.
Dude, all it is doing is scraping Google. It's not replacing anything. It can't think for itself. It's just scraping data. It's actually fucking everything up because it's scraping probably photos that you've taken, probably videos that I've taken, and it's mixing them and it's fucking it all up.
For sure. I understand the creative
So it's not
component.
a sentient being. And if it ever becomes a sentient being, fuck this planet, dude. I don't want to be on it.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Can we get back on track?
Yeah.
Sorry. I still like you.
So you're talking about using all these filters and stuff, like how you're going through like bloom filters and this is like your style. But then when you work with a different band, do you kind of have to adapt that style to that band?
Absolutely. I mentioned that I worked for a band, Hot Milk, and they were the first band that hired me where Hannah has like, and I think I touched on this a little bit earlier, where like Hannah has a really clear aesthetic that she's going for, and a lot of the photographers that she's worked with in the past are significantly like grungier than I am, where I'm like, my style is turned, because I do so much like Daisy Grenade stuff, it's girlier. It's just like softer. It's like more cinematic, and Hannah wants like grit. And I loved the challenge. Like I loved it, but I was scared because it wasn't my. I had to re-edit photos, honestly. I went back and I found I'd shot like Bring Me the Horizon and Royal and the Serpent on the Fall Out Boy tour, and I went back and I re-edited some of those photos to like prove to her to get the job, so that I could like really prove to her like, look, I take these photos, but it's really in the editing, and I can like really
Switch it up,
get your style. Like
that's a cool technique.
Yeah. And it's there's a lot of cropping involved. There's a lot of like, don't be afraid to crop, photographers. Cropping sometimes makes shots like fucking amazing. That are like so far away. I have so many examples of like cropping shots where I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe that photo turned out that way just because I
also
cropped
remember if it's only going on Instagram, like the resolution on it is like a millionth of what you're actually shooting.
Totally. But I'm like, when I shoot for Daisy and Meet Me at the Altar, it's like really bright colors. And with Hot Milk, it was a lot more like specific color palette that she wanted. She wanted kind of like more of a like icy blue and darks and like grit and texture on the photos. And so it took a little bit of time for us to get into a groove and for me to figure out like what she liked that was also possible for me to achieve and that I liked too. And so yes, like having to switch between different bands. I've been kind of lucky that a lot of the bands that hire me for other stuff like my style, but I tend to start out with like a cleaner, just kind of like more straightforward style right in the beginning, and then I'll like start to experiment more with different photos. And a lot of touring photographers use presets that like they'll make or they'll purchase, but a lot of the good ones like are editing, and then they make their own presets based on the way that they like edit the first round of photos or stuff in the past. I haven't really gotten to the point where I feel like I have like, I don't know, anytime I shoot a photo, I look at it and like I have a different idea for a lot of different photos. And so it's hard for me to just like quickly slap on a preset and then like do quick adjustments. But that was helpful with Hot Milk, where I would make some base presets that I would like the look of a picture, and then I would be like, oh, we're shooting, and I would label it like, okay, this was like at like an exterior stadium and I really like the way these colors turned out. Let me make a preset for that so that I just like have it as an option later down the line. And sometimes I'll just, in the same way that like people will just like put filters on their photos and swipe through on like a story, it's like, okay, let me like swipe through and see what's
So instead of
what I'm
having
vibing with.
having a tour filter, you have like a cache
Yeah,
of,
so I'll
of
have
feeling
like I'll have
filters.
like blue grit exterior, or I'll have like I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to the naming whatsoever. It's like
It's not like scripting or anything.
no, it's like and like when I was shooting both Hot Milk and Daisy Grenade at the same time on Sat Summerfest, that was interesting because I was switching back and forth between, I was shooting the exact same venue and the same stage, but having to switch up the style.
That's cool.
Yeah, of shooting for bands that were going on back to back.
Yeah.
So I would like shoot Daisy Grenade, and then I would like maybe switch out a lens or something for Hot Milk. I would shoot Hot Milk, and then I would go and I would like dump everything, and I would have to like really enter different modes and be like, okay, this I'm editing Daisy Grenade time. Now I'm editing Hot Milk stuff, and I'm like, let's put on, and I'll listen to different kinds of music too when I edit different bands. So like when I'm editing Daisy, I'm listening to more like 100 Gex, Estelle Allen, like very like electronic, like hyperpop. When I'm listening to Hot Milk, I'm listening to more like grungy, like screamo type stuff, just to like really get myself like in that headspace.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
I liked what you said about like when you worked with Hot Milk, you found a style that they liked and you liked.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like the real thing that a lot of photographers, when you're starting out, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You kind of take direction from someone.
Yeah.
And you think like that is the way that you should go. In actuality, you want to use that direction to
like a basis.
find
Yeah.
another.
There's a reason that you're there. There's
And
a reason that you're the one
absolutely.
that got
Not
hired.
just fulfilling like
Yeah.
a service. Like they clearly see something in you and they're just giving you a direction, a guideline versus like, this is exactly what I want.
Totally. And like to Hannah's credit, like I was not what she was looking for when like they hired me. Like I was available. I was already going to be at Sad Summer. It was kind of an easy hire, and I was willing to do it. And I had arena experience was kind of the main thing, where a lot of their photographers who they work with over, they're a British band, so like are not in America. And so I was able to work in America like on this arena tour, and I was also already going to be at 20 of the shows that they were also going to be at. I know that she had like a really specific, clear vision, and it did take a while for us to like align on something that I didn't feel like was hard for me to do, you know? Like in the beginning it felt hard. It felt like a job where I was like, I really want to make her happy like with what I'm producing, but it's not clicking, and I know that, and she knows that. And so like trying to balance that while also kind of living together is also a challenge of like, she sees, like they see when you're working all the time. I have to sacrifice like going out sometimes to sit and edit, and I have to not drink on tour, like not smoke weed, so that I can actually edit, or I'll fall asleep.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like there's critical, like crucial time where I have to be on. But yeah, I think to answer your question, that's my answer.
I like that.
What's your?
Is that a good way to answer your
no,
question? That's my answer.
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I think we can wrap it up. I mean,
Yeah.
unless
Yeah.
anyone else has anything. else.
Should we ask ChatGPT how to end this?
No, not this part. Just the research part, not this part.
We also need more drinks.
Drinks are gone.
Not me. This is why I don't pee ever. I
Because
take
you're not
100 years to drink my drink.
You're really dehydrated.
Well, I was talking the entire time.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you get
Talk, talk,
interviewed,
talk.
Jamie. You got to learn this.
No. We did no other ASMR. Oh
Do
no.
an ASMR outro. You want to do an ASMR outro?
Oh, I absolutely do not. I will throw up.
Bert
if you do
doesn't
that.
like ASMR.
It gives me goosebumps.
This one's good. This one's good. Do we agree?
You never grabbed that.
I
You're
know, I
supposed
never
to like
grabbed
grab
this.
this.
Do you guys hate this?
Thank you, Jamie, for being
No.
on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
This was amazing.
Okay, Jamie. Jamie, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you so much for responding to the DM.
Yeah.
When I got the DM, I posted on my close friend story. I was like, Shitty Rigs just followed me. Is this a dig or is this an honor? And everyone was like, I think it's a dig. And I was like,
Oh my God, hey, Shitty Rigs. No, I mean,
and then you were like, we want you to come on the podcast. And then I posted again hours later and I said, it was an honor.
It is a dig. It was a dig. they saw my tripod taped to a goalpost. And
I feel like my entire fucking spirit embodies Shitty Rigs. Like everything I do is just a shitty rig mentality. And I feel like I'm in the right place.
Hey, thanks for joining us, and thanks for keeping that mentality positive, because there's a number of people that think Shitty Rigs is a bad thing, and I think what we do and what we try to promote are people that are making it happen in the best way possible.
Totally.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for talking with us.
Follow Jamie.
And we'll see you next time, guys.
Yeah.
Follow me. No, I'm kidding. Cut that out.
That's definitely it.